Hi, I recently changed my name. I am Robert, and I was christened as Robert, and I was known as Bob for a long time since I was my 17th, 3 days after my 17th birthday, which is the day I arrived at my RAF training centre. And they asked me what I'd like to be known as because I was a Robert, but would you like to be known as anything else? And I thought about it for a second, and I said I'd be Bob because for the previous 17 years of my life, I'd been Rob. And that worked very well for me, except I'd lived in a world of, well, now as I look back, constant disturbed people, and including sexual paedophiles and abusers, and looked after care and all the rest of it you can layer on. And that was 17 years of that. So when I kind of reached the safety of the Royal Air Force, if you want to put it that way, which it was safe. It was very safe for me. I decided to leave Rob behind and become Bob. But as I get a bit older, and I've done all the recovery hopefully, though I don't think it ever ends, I've kind of decided I'd like to go back to being Rob, because recovery is about recovering yourself. It isn't about finding some new version of yourself. It's about finding the version that always existed, that the abusers targeted in many ways, and feeling comfortable to be who you were, because it was never about you, except you were an object of their dysfunction, and you were okay. It was just their dysfunction, not yours. So it's okay to go home and to be you. And that's the reason I've referred it to Rob. But I'm using Robert because so many people are confused by it, and including people who call themselves experts in trauma and sexual violence and all sorts of things. And they really struggle to kind of acknowledge and be comfortable with it. And that's okay, because that's their choice. But, the reason for it is trauma informed in the real world. And the real world is survivors are allowed to go back to who they were and kind of embrace it, recover themselves, live long and prosper.